Hey everybody, this is Arnaldo Offerman with CompuShow Video Manuals. So I realized after a couple of comments I read on a couple of forums that I've made tons and tons of video on CompuShow, but not really how to create a program. So my bad. I'm going to show you a couple quick ways. And again, the beauty of CompuShow is that there's a million ways to do things, but let's go ahead and go over way number one, and that is by basically doing macros. First thing I'm going to do is, this is a page for the InnoScan LED HP. This is stock. This is exactly what it looks like when you lay it down. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new zone. So I just go to my layer settings, and we're just going to call it scenes. Pretty simple. There it is right there, scenes. And I can change it however I want. I can stack it here on top if I'd like to. So there's my XY, there's my scenes. So I'm going to have it like that because it's cleaner. And let's say I'm playing with the switches, right? So I turn on my scanners, making a cool program. I'm like, ooh, I like that, right? I'm like, ooh, let's rotate the gobos a bit too. I'm like, ooh, that looks so cool, but I want to phase it a little bit. So then I just right click here on my gobo rotation, and I change my phasing. Oops, there we go. Let's try that one more time. And I change my phasing. I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. So now I'm going to go into my button, right? There's a tab right there. I click on new scene. And I'm going to choose button layer scenes. And I'm going to call it pink slow spin. Or it's yellow and purple. The 3D doesn't look quite right, especially when it's being recorded on this program. I don't know why, but whatever. So we're going to call it, yellow, purple, slow spin. Now we have empty, which basically means that it's going to have all the channels empty, equal to initialize. We don't want that. Or as you see now, basically it's going to take these right here, which are all checked, and save it. And I'm going to click OK. Now when I initialize and I click it again, bam, there it goes. Now let's say that I do a little bit of changing. Let's say we make it to green, and we change the gobo. And let's say that, I just dim, let's say 2 and 4 just slightly, okay? And I'm like, oh, I like how that looks. And then I do a shutter chase. I'm like, oh, that looks awesome. So now I'm going to click on new scene. There it is, scenes right there. And we'll call it green chase. Okay. So now we go from here to here. Look how easy that was. Okay. And if you're on the master page, it records everything. So let's say we do the inner spot, or the inner roll, excuse me. And in case you don't know, the newer versions of CompuShow, the visualizer, does support rolling fixtures. Check it out. Okay, so we've got this here, the inner roll. And we have, let's say we do our, let's say we do just here some movements. Okay, just something basic. Actually, let's do purple, right? And I'm like, ooh, that looks really cool. And we're going to have the gobos match. Okay, so there it is right there. I'm like, oh, I like how that looks. But if I go and I do the new scene, now obviously there's not a layer because I didn't make a layer for it. So I'm going to make a quick layer over here again. Layers. Oh, this one here, notice how there isn't one because I can't do settings, because I have to make a new layer, which we'll cover that later. So for now, I'm just going to make it here. So we're just going to call it red. Okay. But what happens is it only records the inner roll because it's only the page for the inner roll. But if you're on the master and you do the same thing too, and we'll just call it Q1 for now. And where it says, as you see now, we can have it save everything. The rolls, we do have a sweeper beam, but I'm not using the sweeper beam for this one, so we're just going to take that out. Now I'm going to click OK. Again, no sweeper beam there, so we can take that out. And OK. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of my scanner and my inner roll. And there it is right there. It saved what was on those two pages into my master page. So that is step one. Pretty simple. And I hope that was easy for you guys to understand. Now, stay tuned for the second video because I'm going to talk to you about how to do it with step-by-step programming.